What's up guys, SUW here and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to farm rerolls the fastest way possible, how to get Kaguya the fastest way possible, and how to get gems somewhat the fastest way possible. I'm not completely sure if it's the fastest way, but it'll farm gems for you. But if you guys probably didn't already guess, this is a macro. It is completely free. Do not worry about, you don't have to pay a penny for this. Do not worry about having to pay for anything. There's a Discord. To get this macro, I will leave a link in the description and I will show you guys how to download it, how to use it, and leave a like on the video and subscribe. Let's get right to the video. So this is the most important step of the entire macro. Those of you who already have auto hotkeys, you can skip ahead into the video into the next step. But those of you who don't already have auto hotkeys, you will need to download auto hotkeys. So I'll leave a link to this link to auto hotkeys in my description, and I'll also leave a link to how to download it in a video on how to download it in my description, just in case you get stuck. Basically what you want to do is you want to go download. I already have it downloaded, so I'm not actually going to download it. Hit download, and you're going to hit download version 2.0, and then after that you should be good. But if you get stuck, we'll have a video in the description. The next thing you guys want to do is you want to click the link into my description of my YouTube video and join this Discord. It's called Jolly Parrots. And once you join this Discord, you want to scroll all the way down to you see AV all in one. If you don't see it, you can scroll up, go to channels and roles, browse channels, and just make sure you have it enabled. It'll be in the macro section. Just enable it. And then once you able to see it, come all the way down, download the AV all in one macro. If you do this, it'll download this and it'll be in your files. What you want to do when you get this is you want to open the file. You want to click on this. This is also a very important step. Hold on one second. Go over to your downloads. You want to click on this and you want to click extract all. You have to do this or it won't work. So extract it. I'm going to put you in here. You can click on this and then click on AVIO. Don't worry about this. Just click more info and then run anyway. And then here's your little browser. Here's your little hub. I'll get to how to use this in a moment. All right, once you guys have the central hub downloaded from Jolly Parrots, before you do anything, make sure, this is also very important, they will tell you this in the Discord, make sure your UI skill is at 1, not 1 below, not 1 above. You have to make sure it's on 1 or it will not work. Okay, so once you in the interface and you see all this, you don't have to worry about main. The only thing that's in the main is going to be webhooks. When I've been using this AFK for about a few days, and it never once asked me to use a webhook. Before it did ask for a webhook. I don't know why it does it now, but if you run into a message saying you need to add a webhook, I will have a video in the description on how to add that too, just in case any one of you guys run into that. Me personally, I have not ran into it yet. I don't think you need it. Placement, this is also important. So this needs to correspond to this. So basically, for example, I have Sung Jin Woo Vanguard and I have Monarch, so he's going to be a 1 placement. If you have a regular Sung Jin Woo or a regular unit, you need to make sure you know what their placement is and put it in here. Or if you don't do that, it will break and it will keep trying to, for example, if you have a Monarch, Sung Jin Woo, or any unit, but you put the placements to 2, it will break because it will keep trying to place 2 Monarch Sung Jin Woos and you'll be stuck and you'll keep losing. So make sure you have all of this correct to what's here. Also, you'll see there's no 5th and 6th slot. Your 5th and 6th slot will always be Takarota and Speedwagon. Make sure your 5th slot is always Takarota, and make sure your 6th slot is always Speedwagon. If you have it backwards, for example, I've done this before on accident. If you have Speedwagon in your 5th slot and Takarota in your 6th slot, it will break. It will keep trying to place. You'll try to place 3 Takarotas instead of 1, and you'll end up losing. It won't move on to the next step of the macro. It will just keep trying to place your money unit. So make sure all of your slots is correct, especially 5 and 6. Those will break. Now, once you're done with that, you will now go on the game modes. Now, I know this whole interface looks kind of scary and overwhelming. There's like, what do you do? How do you navigate through this? It's really easy. Most of this stuff you won't even be doing anyway. So for example, I'm going to skip over this for a second and go to farm first. So this is what your macro will actually be doing overnight. So If you just want to only do spring portals, you can deselect all of this and just have it how I have it. First choice gonna be spring portals, and second choice gonna be infinite. It'll only go to infinite if you run out of spring portals, or all your spring portals are Land of the Gods. For some reason, it won't do Land of the Gods portals. I have no clue. You can get unlucky, which I have gotten unlucky before and had all my portals be Land of the Gods. So just make sure to avoid that. Go to the event shop and just buy like 20 portals. So it really decreases your chances of that ever happening. But if you're like me and you want to maximize your reroll game for the night, have all 3 of these selected. It'll check if you did your daily, then it'll do your 30-minute trait challenge, and then once it's done with these 2, it's going to do bounty, and once you're done with your bounty, it's going to do this. In my personal opinion, this is the best way to farm rerolls and to get Kaguya. Way faster than sitting in a time chamber. You only get about like 80 to 86k per day. Well, it varies for me because sometimes I have work in the morning and I come back and I see 80-something K. Most of the time, we're going to see about like 60 to 80k for sitting in a portal. With this, you can definitely see over 100,000 presents per night on top of the shamrocks you're going to get and the chests you're going to get. So if you're good enough to solo the portals, any portal, then I would definitely recommend you do this. Also, like, you did just hear me say that you kind of have to be good enough / lucky enough to solo the portals. So what I would recommend, if you to have at least 1 monarch, and definitely have Vanguard Sung Jin Woo. He is a must-have, and if you do, it's even better. You won't have to worry about anything if you have Vanguard Sung Jin Woo Monarch, because he can solo basically everything in the game. If you have Vanguard Sung Jin Woo Monarch, you don't have to worry about a thing. He's that overpowered still after all these months. So just make sure you have, oh, well, I'm not gonna say make sure, because you have to get really lucky. I happen to be very, very lucky with my account. Just make sure you have Vanguard Sung Jin Woo. If you don't, just make sure you just have Sung Jin Woo and with some other monarch, so you can at least, you might not win every portal, but you will win probably the majority of them. I've done this with like a Monarch Icarus and an Obito, which were both outdated, which wasn't even that long ago, and I was able to win about like 60 to 70% of my portals. If not, if you don't have this many monarchs, try to put a slow unit down, or support units, somebody that can slow, or that can time stop, or shield breakers. Shield breakers or shields are going to be your worst nightmare, so put on like Vegeta or somebody who's multi-hit on placement, so they can break shields, and then your Sung Jin Woo or your other monarch can deal all the damage. So I think I went up. Oh, game modes. So for this, all this is that is twice. It's going to ask, if you fail, do you want to redo it after you fail, which I recommend you do, because I recently just had a macro that broke because it kept trying to redo a challenge that I was failing somehow. I don't know how I was failing it, but I was. And I don't know what this is. I just don't even have it click on or enabled. And then this is going to ask you what maps you want to skip. So if you have trouble soloing any one of these maps, you can disable every single one of them. But if you only have, like, for example, the statue double dungeon, if you don't have Uryu Evo'd, which I do, I just skip this map because I don't hate this map with a passion. You can skip whatever map you want. Well, not whatever map you want, because you're going to skip the annoying ones. But if you want to maximize your reroll gain per night, just don't have any of these. If you're comfortable with soloing every single one of these maps, don't worry about disabling it. So that's all these are going to be. World line, I would not recommend doing this because this does not work. I'm pretty sure currently it does not work, so don't worry about doing this. I leave all these blank. I don't touch any of these. You can blacklist any element if you want. I'm pretty sure it won't do it. So if you have like a enemy with an element that can directly counters your one good unit or whatever unit you have, you can deselect it. I have all these deselected because I can solo it comfortably. And that's basically about it. Once you have all this set up, you can go and, you know, enjoy waking up till about like 30 to 100 rerolls, depending if you did the battle pass or not, and about 100k presents or flowers. Keep in mind, it will break sometimes. This isn't 100% foolproof. It will break sometimes. It is very annoying, but the gain you get over doing this rather than sitting in the time chamber all day is like a night and day difference. So I'm gonna real quick, I'm gonna show you guys the macro working. Okay, once you guys got all of that ready, press F2 and it'll start running the macro. And then yeah, you can just sit back, go either watch YouTube, go to work, go to school. Well, it's summer, we're all out of school. Well, I'm not in school anymore. But go do whatever. You can go to sleep and then wake up to see a shit ton of rerolls and a shit ton of presents to go try to spin for Kaguya. And this is basically the end of the video. It's been your boy ACW, and I'm out.